You've probably heard how The Simpsons keeps predicting the future. Elections, inventions, disasters. Somehow they get it right almost every time. But it's not just The Simpsons. Futurama, South Park, even old science fiction novels. Pieces of the future hiding in plain sight. And everyone laughed. But here's something stranger. Something no one talks about. A forgotten prediction, buried in a place no one expected to find it. If you were a teenager, or even a young adult, in 2001, and you love military games, you probably played Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon. It felt like pure fiction, another world, another fantasy. Let's look at the trailer to freshen our memory.
The year is 2008, and the world teeters on the brink of war. Radical ultranationalists have seized power in Moscow. Their goal, the re-establishment of the old Soviet Empire. Ukraine, Belarus, Kazakhstan. One by one, the nearby independent republics slip back into the Russian orbit. Russian tanks sit in the Caucasus Mountains and the Baltic forests, poised to strike to the south and east. The world holds its breath and waits. For one small group of elite soldiers, the war has already begun. U.S. Special Forces Group 5, 1st Battalion, D Company. Deployed on peacekeeping duty to the Republic of Georgia in the Caucasus, this handful of Green Berets represents the very tip of the spear, the first line of defense. Equipped with the latest battlefield technology and trained in the latest techniques of covert warfare, they strike, swiftly, silently, invisibly. They call themselves the Ghosts.
It opens in the year 2008. Russia collapses. A hardline president, Dmitry Arbatov, rises from the ashes. He invades Georgia. He destabilizes Ukraine. Belarus joins the new union. Kazakhstan falls under Russian control. NATO hesitates. The US deploys covert forces. The war spreads. The battlefield moves inside Russia itself. The regime fractures. And in the final battles, Moscow falls. You probably finished the campaign, felt the adrenaline, and moved on. Because back then, none of it felt real. In the real world, Vladimir Putin had just come to power. Calm, calculated. He spoke of modernization, economic growth, partnership with the West. Even floated the idea of joining NATO. The world listened. The world hoped. Ghost Recon's future seemed ridiculous, impossible, wrong. But was it? By 2007, Putin's speeches changed. He accused the West of betrayal, of encroachment. And in 2008, just as in the game, Russia invaded Georgia. The justification, protecting Russian-speaking separatists. The language matched. The sequence matched. The timing, exact. Then came Crimea in 2014. Donbass and Lugansk. By 2022, Belarus wasn't just an ally. It had bound itself to Russia through the Union State Agreement, a soft merger of economies, militaries, and sovereignty. A quiet annexation without a single battle, exactly the way the campaign predicted. The blueprint wasn't forecasting battles, it was outlining a takeover. In January 2022, Kazakhstan exploded in protests, and for the first time, Russia deployed troops beyond its borders, under the flag of the CSTO, to crush civilian unrest and secure a loyal government. An internal rebellion put down by a foreign force, almost word for word from Ghost Recon's escalation scenarios. Then February 2022, the invasion of Ukraine. Each chapter unfolding like pages from a forgotten mission script, but it didn't stop there. And then there's the name, Dmitry Arbatov. In the game, he's the fictional president leading Russia into war. In reality, in 2008, Putin stepped aside and installed Dmitry Medvedev as president. But was this a simple prediction? What if this was planned? Let's look at the man behind the game. Tom Clancy, not just an author, not just a storyteller. Clancy had deep relationships with military insiders, strategists, intelligence planners. He didn't predict future wars, he wrote them. Ghost Recon wasn't entertainment, it was a warning, a simulation dressed as fiction. Because that's what military simulations are. They don't just guess, they map the futures they expect, or the ones they intend to create. So what if Ghost Recon wasn't designed to entertain you? What if it was a glimpse, a leak, a sanctioned exposure carefully placed into public hands? Look at the world now. In 2025, the conflict stretches deeper. Ukrainian-backed Russian separatists fight in Belgorod. Ukrainian army is fighting in Kursk. Western volunteers, Americans, Brits, Canadians, fight under Ukrainian banners. Border cities crumble. Russian forces bleed on their own soil. The simulation is still running, not on screens, in real life. Which leads to a question too heavy for easy answers. Was this predicted? Was it planned? Or was it programmed? Because when fiction dictates the rhythm of war, when the names, the dates, the justifications align line for line, you stop calling it coincidence and start wondering who wrote the script. Think tanks, foundations, institutes. They don't wear uniforms, they don't run for office. They don't stage revolutions, they design them. They don't just predict leaders, they manufacture them. They don't wait for turning points, they build them. They don't hope for outcomes, they craft them. The architects don't guess, they don't gamble, they program. A collapse here, a surge there, a leader rising at just the right moment, a nation falling just when needed. And if they can embed 20 years of history into a video game, what else have they scripted? The architects don't create futures, they curate them, and the world plays along, thinking it's free. This is Hidden Signal, and this is only the beginning.